Hello, I am Suzy Ross, author of Map to Wholeness, and this is an introduction into the phase towards wholeness called Surrender and Healing. You enter the phase towards wholeness the moment you find yourself needing others, so much so that you have no choice. There comes a moment where you must rely upon others in a way you never have. Perhaps you have to reach out to them, listen to them, or fall apart in front of them. This is an experience that brings you to a humility that you have never known. But the moment requires it. You are simply at a loss, perhaps in too much pain, and you cannot help yourself. You might be out of control, and the ego is no longer big enough to hold you back. In fact, you might not even care what you look like or sound like. The truth is, you need help. This is the core of surrender, and it is the moment you let go of the old you and begin. Surrender allows you to let go and not be in charge. For once, you have no choice but to let go and allow someone else to hold you, help you, direct the show, or manage the responsibilities. It is still not easy, but on some level, you don't even care. Perhaps you're too tired. You rest for a moment in the embrace of someone or some others who care about you. Surrender allows you to begin healing, softening the self that is so used to doing all the time. The mask of who you are, who you used to be, slowly floats downward and heavily makes its way to the bottom of the earthen floor. You no longer have need for these old ways. There is finally some sense of rest in the release. But the rest is not complete. This phase still requires a lot of work on your part. You still must continue to face your own fears, demons, angers, and inner conflicts. You can notice the good versus bad inside of you, the inner turmoil that begins during the dismemberment phase, continues during this phase, but in a decently softer and gentler way. During the surrender and healing phase, you are still dealing with your inner demons, but you are beginning to see the light. Life is getting slightly better. After all, in your hand, in your heart, there grows a new life that is tender, vulnerable, and new. The new you is growing each time you reject the old, fearful, and anger ways, and you release, surrender, and act in healthier ways. And these ways might scare you, and yet you move forward. Something is growing inside of you, a new you. Towards the end of this phase, you begin reaching out towards your future. You start to have the first inklings of hope. You start believing for the first time. And what is it that you believe? That you have a future, that recovery might be possible, and that maybe you could have a healthier life. Hope enters into your world again.